Peace, peace, peace. Much love to everybody. How's everybody doing on this top of the morning? On this video, I'm going to talk about Tisa Tells was targeted at the Diddy trial. And I'm going to give you the backstory on it. And I'm going to tell you some stuff that, that happened, the things that I witnessed. So I'm going to tell you that because there's a backstory to it. And so I'm going to get into that. There's a lot of people commenting. They weren't there, so they don't know exactly what happened. So I'm going to give you not the tea, but I'm going to give you the coffee. That's what I'm going to give you. I don't do the tea. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the coffee on, now that I'm not there, I could tell you some different things. Yeah, now I'm not there. I definitely could tell you some things that I probably wouldn't be able to tell you because I'm still boots on the ground. I'm still boots on the ground, though, because you never know where you could be at and somebody might recognize you. So I'm always boots on the ground, but I was directly boots on the ground at that trial. And I could tell you the reason why she got targeted. And she wasn't the only person that was being targeted. I was being targeted. I was also being targeted by a YouTuber that didn't go to trial and he think he know everything. I was being targeted by him. But when brothers get targeted, nobody cares about that. See, I already know how my people act. That's why I'm not surprised by anything. If somebody came up to me and said, hey man, such and such hating on you, I'm like, I'm not even going to approach him. I mean, he can hate on me, but as long as he don't touch. Because if he touched, now I had to go to the MDC with Puff. Because out in New York, if you get into a squabble, both of y'all getting arrested. You got to prove that your life is on the line. Hold on a second. Now I'm going to tell you, out there, it was particularly dangerous. But I was okay though. If, number one, I'm a man, and number two, I know how to protect myself, and I don't carry myself like no punk. And unfortunately, when you're in a situation like that, you have to be careful because they got crash out dummies. And luckily, there was no crash out dummies there because there was a lot of law enforcement around. So I'm giving you guys this. It was a lot of law enforcement around, of course, right? So there wasn't going to be no crash out dummies. I was worried about the crash out dummies when you're walking away from the venue. Perfect example, somebody I know, they were at a parade a couple years ago. And I don't go to the West Indian parade. I don't. I'm talking about on in Brooklyn. I don't go to it no more because you're risking yourself. But people still want to go and hang out. And somebody I know was targeted for no reason and died that day. Died. A crazy, deranged person targeted him and just came back and shot him. So I'm always aware of the crash out dummies. I could tell what they look like, and I'm also looking to see if they got any weapons on them. I'm always scanning them and stuff. I had a crash out dummy get in my camera, but he saw how I was looking at him. All that yelling wasn't moving me. And while he was talking, I said, man, this dude is selling wolf tickets. I said it right in front of him. You know what I'm saying? I guess I'm just as crazy as the crash out dummies, I guess. My ass is crazy too. That's why I can spot them. I don't know. But, and then he moved on to somebody else. But then there was another guy out there. He was doing that he was like a plant, like, to cause chaos. He looked like he was a derelict, and he was there to crash out. The reason why, luckily for Tisa, she was at the courthouse. There was a lot of security around, but she also had security. If she didn't have security, somebody would have tried to do something to her. I'm just telling you this. I know because I was there. There's a lot of people commenting on it, and you were not there. Trust me, I know. She's lucky, but she was being watched for sure. She was being watched, and the reason why I knew she was going to get targeted on the last day, I knew it because they were talking about it. I heard people. I'm not going to say the people that was talking about it, but they were talking about it because let me tell you guys something real quick. This is why I hang by myself, yo. And if I am hanging with somebody, it's usually females. If you notice, I don't hang around dudes, man. I don't. I don't want to be hanging around no fellas. I don't want to be going out for drinks with you. I don't want to do nothing like that. You got to be a female, first of all, for me to hang out with you. First of all, I'm not unless I've known you, unless you my brother or I've known you for a while, or something like that. But when people start drinking, then you find out who they are. And I don't, at my age, I don't have patience no more. I'd be ready to lay somebody out. I don't have no patience. So and I know I have a temper. So I have to stay away from certain guys because I have a temper. And I have to control it. Like I've never been in trouble because I control it. But the only reason how I do it, I have to stay away from certain people. And it was no different out there. And I spotted out who they were. They seemed cool, but they wasn't. And I know people were saying, "Hey man, why don't you hang out and stuff like that?" No, I'm good, yo. I said it just like that. I'm good. I ain't hanging out with nobody. And I hung out with a few. Like I said, I'm not hanging out with no dudes, man. I'm just not doing it. And come to find out, I was right about somebody. And people, they could be mad at you for no reason. It's just for you existing, they could be mad. So I already know how people operate. But then also you had paid people that was out there to cause a disturbance. But the only thing that kept people like Tisa Tells and people safe is that there was cops everywhere. But they were targeting her. I don't know if she gonna tell you. I have to let her tell you. This is her story to tell. But just know you weren't there, and it was a reason why she had to go get security. She didn't have security the first day. There was a reason why she had to get security. But hopefully she'll tell you. There was a few guys walking around, driving around in cars with masks on, and they showed up on somebody's live. They were just sitting there live like everything is all Gucci. You always got to keep your head on a swivel. He didn't have his head because the dude just popped up on him. Nothing beats an ambush though, but he popped up on him, straight mask on. But they couldn't do nothing around there because it was like they had the security. I give the security a special shout out because they kept everybody safe. But trust me, the danger was out there because there was a couple news correspondents. They had bodyguards, and they didn't have them the first day. But I guess the network said we gotta get you a bodyguard. There was a couple lawyers that came in. They had bodyguards. You couldn't tell they were like plain clothes, but yes, they were around. And these weren't regular bodyguards. These like off duty, whatever. But I'm telling you, there's a reason why she had to get security, or they were alerted that she's in harm's way. And it's something that happened. But hopefully she'll tell it. I'm not gonna tell it. It's her story to tell. But I was happened to be standing there, and I was like, okay, like I had to say, I said, if something happened, if this dude tried to try something with it, I'm gonna have to stop it. And you guys didn't hear what I said, the Ratchet TV. You guys didn't hear it, but because I edited the video, so you didn't hear what I was saying. If you saw my live chat, you heard what I was saying to him. And I was right close to him when I was saying, I said, man, this dude a fool, yo. He too clean to be sitting out here acting like this. I was sitting there saying it. He heard me too. He didn't say nothing to me. I said, he too clean to be sitting up here selling these wolf tickets. And somebody was telling me that they believe like he was gonna try something, but she had bodyguards there though. She had bodyguards there, so he wasn't gonna do anything. I said, he's not gonna do anything. She had bodyguards there, and these weren't regular bodyguards, right? If you saw the lapel on their the pin on their lapel, you know they're not regular bodyguards. And then there was a rumor going out about her, so that didn't help either. Or I don't know if it's a rumor or not, but you know, hey, it is what it is now. But I know when it comes to a group of my people and they're all bunched up together, you got to be careful because trouble could happen. Like they'll be looking at you, smiling 1 minute, and trying to start trouble behind your back. It happened to me. It happened to me. So I knew it was gonna happen to her, and I'm not as big as she is. I knew it was gonna happen to her. And you just have to stay out of the way. And she did. She stayed out of the way. She didn't hang with nobody. She stayed out of the way, and that's what really kept her out of the way. So she already knew. And I'm gonna tell you, she wasn't scared. That's what I'm gonna tell you. She was not scared, yo. She said, "Come over here. With the you keep talking, having Diddy's whatever down your mouth. Like, you go ahead, come over and do." He wasn't gonna do nothing because they were waiting for him to do something. They would have laid him out for sure. And also, it's a jealousy thing. I heard people talking about that. How she getting all these views, and at the end of the day, worry about your shit. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Now, could it be that somebody is promoting her? Yeah, it could be, but I don't know. Ask her and get down with the get down if that's the case. If you want her views, my thing is all views ain't good views because for sure she's being watched, and I just wish her safety. I wish her to stay safe because she is being watched, and they know that. That's why they got protection for her, or she hired protection, one or the other. But and then it was another situation where that whole oil incident. Um, what's his name? Armand was doing he was doing reenactments, and that was planned. That wasn't well. That was like kind of planned in a moment. But he said, "Yo, let's do a reenactment." They didn't hear when he had said that. He was doing reenactments on his show throughout the whole trial. You know how he do. He do reenactments or whatever just to give you paint that picture. So when he did that, that's the reason why they barricaded the whole area because alerts started going off in people neighborhoods. See, this is what y'all didn't know. Alerts started going off. I think he told it already, but alerts started going off, and the police was notified. Guys, it was police came. They surrounded the area when that happened. They barricaded the area. They was trying to barricade those people in to arrest them, possibly if they had did something. They was boxing them in. Because you noticed in my lodge, I said, "Oh shoot, what's going on?" And I got out the way because they were barricading, and just in case if something happened, if it got violent, they would have barricaded them in. But people was getting alerts, community alerts. They were getting community. They swarmed in. They were getting community alerts around the surrounding neighborhood that some activity is going on, and that's how they barricaded. But the news said that they painted him in a different light, and he was upset about it. He was upset about it that they painted him in a different light, and they said they should know what my channel is about. But see, the thing is, the mainstream media is going to run whatever they're going to run with. Um, and I do know that some of the mainstream media, they was like sizing people up just to see who they could talk to and who they can't talk to. That was happening. Um, so everybody had a almost an equal opportunity, especially all the content creators out there. But see, I usually get out there late. I don't get out there early. A lot of the interviews happen early. And when they started contacting people, that was early. And I was never around. I don't check my email like talking about it. And somebody did send me an email and I missed it. I'm not going to tell you which publication, but I did have a couple of interviews with some. I had interviews with foreign publications, um, but there was opportunity out there if that's what you wanted to do. I'm not really trying to get into the mainstream media. I'm not. So that's not nothing. I like doing what I'm doing here and just keep going like that. Um, but yes, she was in harm's way, and if something happened, she'll probably tell it one day. But you know, when she put it this way, something happened, she had to get to running. And I don't know, you got to be careful. If somebody crazy um, targeting you, you don't know what they're going to do to you. So you got to get up out of Dodge, and she did. Next day, she had security. But I'm not going to get into detail on what happened, but there was another big content creator out there that didn't feel quite safe either. But she kept it moving, though. She didn't hang around. Um, she, you know, went to the trial, did her thing, and got out of Dodge that way. That's what she did. She got out of Dodge, and she had people around her, and she didn't have security, but she had enough people around her to where somebody could alert somebody. But so that was happening. Um, and like I said, when you have a bunch of people of color congregated all at one time, you're gonna have some bullshit. And I'm not just saying that just to be talking. I mean, that's just the way it is since I've been alive. It's just the way it is. I don't fuck around with cookouts or nothing like that. Not no more. I don't been in shootouts. And I wasn't even the one shooting. I'm the one running. So I don't like hanging, I don't like congregating like that. I don't. And I'm always careful on who I hang with. So the element of danger was there. And I don't know if you know, New York got a bunch of crazies anyway. And they were out there. And I can tell you, it was one in particular that was causing all the drama. She wasn't out there at the end of the day. She wasn't out there. I guess she figured the job was done. My job is done. But is she crazy? No, she was not crazy. She was acting crazy. She was not crazy. It was almost like she's there to do a job. And then the job was over, she's out. And there was another guy there. I could tell he wasn't crazy either, but he was acting crazy. You know, how do you go from to unless you just had that kind of attitude, that split personality, where you go in and out? Like you got to be careful with people like that. Um, so yeah, there was just a lot going on. Like I didn't go in the main courtroom because there was drama. If you guys don't know, there was a lot of drama on the line. In the last day to get in that courtroom, you know, during verdict watch, there was drama on the line. It was almost a fight on the line. There was another content creator. What is her name? The I forget her name. If she almost got into it in the building. It's a white girl. I forget her name. She covered legal stuff. She almost got into it right in front of me. Right in front of me. Right. They weren't playing with her either. And she sat there and gave them lip back, and it got racial. It got all the way bad, yo. In the building, in the break room, well, the cafeteria. But in the cafeteria, they have like a patio where you could go sit outside. It happened out there. And then somebody I know, he got mad, and it was crazy. Um, I was like, why don't this woman please shut up, please? But she wasn't shutting up. You said academics did a show last night. What about it? What was it about? Yeah, see, I'm going back for sentencing, so it ain't over yet for me because I'm still here. I'm not traveling nowhere. I'm still here, and the sentencing going to be sooner than later. Now Tuesday they're going to meet via teleconference. They're not even going to be in a courtroom. They're going to be the lawyers agreed to meet via teleconference on what the sentencing. When is the sentencing going to be? Because the sentencing was supposed to be in October, like I said. I said it was going to be 3 months after he was found guilty. Usually it's 3 months. People are like, what do you mean 3 months? That's what they were saying outside. I said, what do you mean 3 months? I know what I'm talking about. It's 3 months. Usually 3 to 4 months. And then, like, let's say if he was out on bail, right? He would have the sentencing, right? That's why he wanted to get out on bail, because this could be stretched out. So let's say if he got out on bail yesterday, he'd have been okay with the sentencing being in October, because that don't mean he got to turn himself in. After the sentencing, then they'll say, well, you could turn yourself in after the holidays. You could turn yourself in to start doing your time in February, or they could have him drive to the federal facility to turn himself in. That's what my cousin did. He turned himself in. Um, well, yeah, he turned himself in. He got sentenced because he was out. He was out. He wasn't. They weren't holding him. She sentenced him, and he didn't turn himself in until 2 months later. So he could, because his lawyer worked it out, so he could handle all his bills and his private affairs. He turned himself in 2 months later at the facility. It was near Pennsylvania, and they drove him there. His mom and them drove him there. I didn't go, and he already had his sweatsuit on, a gray sweatsuit. They told him to put on. He already had that, white sneakers, and he went to the gate. He was chilling with his family, and the crazy thing was when he went to the gate, they didn't come for like an hour. He was like, damn, this is crazy. He said, I could go on a run right now. Not really, because they are watching you. Not really. So that's what Puff would have did. But the reason why they're not allowing him to do that, because the judge said during the meeting, the bail hearing, the little bail hearing they had, that because of his violence and his threat to the community, it's an automatic remand. We have to remand you to federal custody. It's automatic. And it was because of the law. Now, Cassie's lawyer was there yesterday. I didn't catch him because I wasn't trying to run. I mean, people was running, and Cassie's lawyer he went out through the back. And, he wrote the letter for Cassie and Deontay Nash. So it cited a law saying that it's an automatic remand. Like, you cannot let him go because of his threat to the community. Now, remember, no, just to let you know, Puff's people, they were still cautious as well, because they were like, no, this ain't over yet. So they were celebrating a little bit, but not really, because they were saying, wait a minute, he just was found guilty. So now we got to see if he can get out via, for before sentencing, because they would be okay with the sentencing being in October, but they would like him to be out. And then after sentencing, then he probably would, more than likely, he'll be able to turn himself in February or March to start doing his time. But they deemed him a threat to society. That's why they didn't let him out. But yeah, on normal circumstances, you could get out, or you could stay out for the trial and stuff like that, and then turn yourself in. They allow you to turn yourself in. You can even turn yourself in to this facility that you're going to be at. You could turn yourself in there. I don't know which facility he's going to. It's going to be contingent on how much time the judge give him. Because if he only going to give him like a year and a half, 2 years, he could do the rest of that in MDC. I don't even think they have to ship him off, if that's the case. But if he gets some significant time, like I think he is going to get, then he's going to be shipped off somewhere in the country. It could be on the East Coast, West Coast, Midwest. It just depends. He'll find out. But his problem is he's already in custody. He's already in custody. So his situation is a little different. On normal circumstances, like I said, he would just, okay, I got sentenced. Okay, the judge sentenced me to 2 years. Okay, I'll turn myself in March after the holidays. You know what I'm saying? And then they allow him to do that. They'll tell him what to wear to turn himself in. Usually it's a sweatsuit, a gray sweatsuit, white sneakers, whatever. And he'll turn himself in at the gate at the facility. But this he's already in custody, so they'll just ship him off. Or if he get a little amount of time, he probably could do it in MDC and then get out from New York. Now they're speculating. They were speculating yesterday, just to give you all the backstory and what the people were talking about on the ground. They told me, "Oh man, he only getting 11 months." I said, "No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not." She's like, "Yeah." I talked to his lawyer. They were lying to me. I said, "Y'all lying." That's why, guys, it's unfortunate that your big YouTuber was lying too. Just to let you know that they weren't telling the whole truth. But we live in a society now. If you get a lot of views, they take that as you're accurate. Guys, a lot of people were lying. I'm just telling you, and you know I get it. It's sensationalism and clicks. You ever heard of yellow journalism? You ever heard of Randolph Hirsch? He was the father of yellow journalism. It's still going on. You stretch the truth a little bit to make it so you can watch it. Because if I tell you the straight truth is boring, you're not gonna stay around. You know what I'm saying? If I tell you, yeah, man, somebody pulled a knife on and this and that, they could have, you'll be like, oh shoot, really? Nah, it wasn't nothing like that. But it was people lying. There was people there that was getting thousands of views, right? And acting like they know what's going on the ground. Like somebody said there were like fights out there. There were no fights out there. There was people yelling, going back and forth with each other, but there was no fights. They said it was a fight. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. They would have got locked up. Them people would have been gone. Now, don't get me wrong. There were fights out there on the line, but that was with the line holders, and they got locked up. The dude got locked up. But was it fights yesterday? No, nah. It wasn't no fights. They were yelling back and forth, and the dude that was out there, the white dude, was out there yelling with that jean jacket on. He was just out there. I guess he was doing a job or some shit because I saw him when I was having pizza. He was like, I guess he like, damn, job well done. I'm done. That's it for me. He's like a content creator or something, but I don't know like who he is, right? They think you should know who they are, but I don't. I don't be knowing who these people are. But he was out there to do a job, and that was it. He was out there to cause a disturbance. But he really was out there to incite something to get people locked up. That's what he was there for. Because people tensions were already high. He was like, yeah, he deserved to get locked up and this and that. And the other dude was like, yeah, he did this. The brother was like, yeah, he deserved to get locked up. They were trying to incite something. It didn't happen yesterday. Just to let you know. They tried. So that, because the cops were there waiting to arrest you. So if you had to like laid your hands on them too, because them two was there, they were paid. Even the brother, he was there. They had him out there strategically, just so if somebody laid their hands on him, you would have got arrested. And I know more than likely that was the case because he probably was an asset because he had did time already. So they probably was using him as an asset. That happens a lot. Go look at what the FBI be paying informants. Go look. They be paying, it's like billions of dollars, man, that they have allotted aside for these programs. So I already knew to get away from him because he was there to incite something because the verdict already came out and he was there to try to get, people to lay hands on him. That's what he was there to do. And just to say, man, look at these people fighting and stuff. These are Puff supporters because they were trying to say When somebody label you as a Puff supporter, I want you to be wary. When they say, "Oh, these are Puff supporters," I'm not. First of all, I'm not a Puff supporter, and he's not my idol. I'm too damn old to be having an idol. I'm too old. I'm too old now. I don't give a damn how much money he got. I'm there just to witness a federal trial. I don't have no idols. Now I'm saying the RICO was bullshit, and the jury agreed with it. The RICO was bullshit. Okay, and the jury has spoken. I told you it was going to be a hung jury on some of it because it was a hung jury when we were voting. We couldn't come up with a unanimous decision, so that reflects the jury. However, they did catch him on the Mann Act, and like I said, you know how I feel about the Mann Act with Jack Johnson, and we're going to see if there's going to be some activity at the White House. But as of right now, there's no activity going on at the White House as far as this case. So he more than likely is not going to get a pardon, or it could just happen at any time. Well, more than likely it's not. More than likely it's not going to happen. So he's going to wait. What they're doing is, okay, so let me tell you what happened in the courtroom. The reason why there was a long gap between me going live yesterday because I was in a federal building because we were worried that we wouldn't be able to get back in the building because all that commotion going on outside. There was a lot of commotion going on outside and the police was heavy. So I asked the police officer, I said, "Can I go in the building?" He said, "Yeah." If you got business in the building. I said, "No, I'm there to watch the court proceedings." He said, "Oh yeah, you could go in." And so I went in, and a lot of people inside, like, I think we should stay inside just in case if something happened outside. So that's why I stayed inside for like 3 hours. Because they originally moved it to 1 p.m. They said they're gonna have the bail hearing at 1 p.m., right? They didn't, they moved it to 5. So we had to leave the courtroom. And from there, I went to the cafeteria. I went and I had something to eat up there and chilled up there. And we chilled out on the balcony. It's like a little terrace area they have out there. It's nice. Nice seating and stuff. You could just really sit out there and just relax. It's really nice. And so I was out there. It was a little bit of drama on the terrace, but so then we finally got in the courtroom. Now, when I got in the original overflow room, Tisa tells us in the overflow room. I honestly believe they moved her in there because they didn't want her in the main courtroom for her protection. Good morning. They didn't want her there, I guess, for her protection because tensions were high. So they told that she was in the overflow room. I'm like, what is she doing in the overflow room? She's usually in the main courtroom. But then I was like, okay, they might have moved her in there and she sat in the back. She didn't sit with the gallery. She sat in the back, just kind of chilling. But she know tensions were high, yo. It was. And so she, as a precaution, she sat in the back. I'm just giving you guys this, yo. I'm giving you everything because you weren't there. She sat in the back in the overflow room. I was getting annoyed with somebody in back of me. Like he was like this. He was saying all the time. I was like, I got to get up, man. And we went into the other overflow room. They opened up another overflow room. So I went in the other overflow room. Tisa stayed in the other one. So the other overflow room was okay. So this is what happened. I saw Diddy come in. He looked stressed. He didn't look good again because he already knew. Guys, when the sentencing happened, right? No, when the verdict came out. Let me back up for a second. When the verdict came out, he was in full prayer, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't know. He didn't know. And then some of the jury was crying. And when they came out with the first, they said when they came out with the first not guilty, and then not guilty again, he shrugged, like his shoulders went down. It's like almost the stress left him. And then it said guilty on the Mann Act, and then not guilty again, and then guilty on count 5. He went to his knees and started praying. That's what happened. He went to his knees and started praying, man. And then some of the jurors were wiping tears from their eyes, and they left. So then, okay, moving forward to the sentencing. I mean, the bail hearing. So they finally came in. I saw Puff come in, and he was sitting there. He had a worried look on his face still, because he knew, like, maybe he could get out. There was still a possibility that he could get out. So his lawyers were prepared to argue it. They were prepared to argue that, right? They had a whole presentation, even though he did present it, but it presented after the fact. So as soon as the judge came in, he started talking. And in the second sentence, bail denied. You could hear, everybody reacted to it. And you just saw like his shoulders go down, like his head kind of went down and went back up. And he looked at his lawyers and like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah, bail denied. It's automatic remand. The judge just set it off top. Like, let's just get to it. Okay, let's just get to it. Bail denied. And he's a threat to the community, and he's a threat to the community, and he's a flight risk. And then the lawyer was kind of looking defeated, like, damn, we didn't even get to do our presentation yet. We didn't get to argue mitigating circumstance on why he should get out. So he said, well, Judge, I had a whole presentation prepared, Mr. Agnifilo. And they were passing notes to him as he was talking to the judge. He was reading the notes. And he was saying, yeah, he has kids that he's the only parent. They lost their mother, and he tried everything. Mr. Agnifilo, guys, I'm telling you, he literally tried everything to get this man out yesterday. The judge wasn't hearing it. He said, this and that, and he said he's not a threat to the community. He's not. And he said he's a threat to the community. He's a flight risk. He been saying that. Why was I knew he was going to deny his bail because he denied it before. And then they cited some cases. Mr. Agnifilo cited at least 4 cases where the person was found guilty of living off the earnings of prostitution, which Puff wasn't, but these people got bail. These people got bail. He said, how come he can't get bail? He said, well, and then this is what he said. It really took the steam out. He said, well, Mr. Agnifilo, you admitted in the closing of the domestic violence. You admitted it. And he used that against him. So Mr. Agnifilo, all right, fair enough. Like, okay, I did what I could do. They were still passing notes. And then finally, Puff started waving his hand to the judge. And I said, please don't say nothing. That's what I was saying. I like shook my head. I closed my eyes. I said, if he say something to that judge is going to use it at sentencing. He's going to use it against him and saying that he's not showing remorse. Please don't open. He was, because I guess he was like, let me try something. Let me not just sit here. I want to try. So then Miss Westmoreland went over to him. She ran over to him. They started talking. They huddled. Then finally, all right, the judge said, Maureen Comey, man, she really, man, the way she presented her thing, she presented with force. You could hear her voice a mile away. That's how loud she was. She was loud. She was extra loud. I have never seen her that loud. She was loud, yo. She was like, no, this is what it is. Blah, blah, blah. This is what it is. And she sat down. Everybody like, ooh, like that. Everybody's like, ooh, look at her, right? So Puff was like kind of shaking his head like, what the fuck? He was looking around and he just waved his hand. And they were talking to him, and then finally the judge said, anything else? Anybody? And then Mr. Agnifilo said, we would like to, I know you said October, but we want to expedite this. And the prosecutors, they were okay with it being expedited, the sentencing. So they're going to meet Tuesday, this upcoming Tuesday, via teleconference. So I'm not going to be in the courtroom Tuesday because they're not going to be there. I will be back in the courtroom during sentencing, but because they're going to have the sentencing, it's going to be really fast. We will find out Tuesday because they have to argue certain things and iron out certain things on his sentencing. Now, that comes to the sentencing. His people have to be worried. He's not out of hot water because the judge kept saying that he's a danger, and he has a violent past. And he's using what they said in the closing. When he said, you submitted to the domestic violence. You said, this and that, which they did. So the government is recommending time, and of course the defense is recommending like 24 months, not even 24 months, under a year. I mean, under 2 years. They're recommending that, which in likely circumstances, he probably would get 2 years. And already time serving, he'll be out in a few months because he got to do 85% of it, which he could do the rest in the MDC, and he'll be walking out of here next year. But the problem is the judge. I don't know what that judge is going to do. The judge is citing that he's a danger to the community. So you think if he think he's a danger to the community, do you think that he's going to let him out? No. He's going to give him some time. Each charge carries up to 10 years. There's no minimum, though, but it's up to 10 years. Some people seem to think he might stack it. Now, when people are saying stack it, they mean consecutive sentences. I think that's going to be pretty excessive if he stack it. If he stacked the sentence, right? If he stack it, that's excessive to me because he don't have a record. I know people say, yeah, Max, he do have a record. No, he don't. He got acquitted. Johnny Cochran was his lawyer. I remember that case. He got acquitted. And anyway, he didn't have no incidents in the past 10 years. There's sentencing guidelines. However, there's points depending on what you've been convicted of. There's points there. So, and then the judge is already saying that he's a threat to the community. So it's you're gonna look for him to get some time. And the judge can literally give him 10 years apiece. He literally can. But all right, let's say if he give him, let's say if that judge max him out. I don't agree with it though. I think that's a little excessive. If he maxed him out and run it concurrent, he already got credit for 10, 11 months, right? He's looking at, he's looking at 7.5 years before he see the light of day again, which means that they're going to move him to a USP, United States Penitentiary. He's going to move somewhere around the country somewhere. And depending on his security level, because there's levels to it. If they don't see the ultimate, it's like the Unabomber and them. You go to ADX Florence in Colorado, right? He don't want to go there. But I don't think he would go there. He would go somewhere where R. Kelly is, like, you know what I'm saying, in North Carolina. And I know somebody that worked there with R. Kelly. I know somebody's daughter worked there with R. Kelly. They said he already sweeping out his cell already. Like, that's the joke over there. Like, they think he's coming there. So I don't know if he's actually going to North Carolina, but he's gonna find out after sentence. Well, he's gonna find out after he gets sentenced. And I know what people saying. Well, Max, they saying that he's gonna sentence him to time served. He could do that. The judge could sentence him to time served. He could, because it's 0 to 10 years. The judge could show him favor and let him out on time served and the rest on parole. Hey, good morning. How you doing? Yeah, he could do that, but he's not doing that because he said that he's a threat to the community and he's a danger because two people wrote letters saying their life on the line. Now, let me tell you something else. There was a bodyguard, Big Homie CC. He went on Piers Morgan and said if Puff gets out, his life is in danger. That wasn't by accident. He went on Piers Morgan and said it. You don't think the judge heard that? This judge is hip. This judge be listening to everything. He's hip, man. He's a hip judge. He's a young judge. He's cool. I know he got his ear to everything. So that judge is going to remember that during sentencing. Now, let me tell you what's going to happen during sentencing. Either Cassie or Jane might show up, or Deontay Nash. Somebody's going to show up and give victim impact statements. He's going to heavily take that in consideration. Now, Puff, he's going to have his people there too. It could be family. His mom is usually there. She might say a word, or she might have something presented for the lawyers to read. She don't have to read it. The lawyers can read it. you know, to appeal to the judge to make him human. Like, listen, he's meant to be outside. He got to help people. So it's a possibility that the judge could sentence him to time served, right? I don't think that's going to happen because either Cassie going to show up or her lawyer, and they're going to read a statement and say that she feels like her life in danger, and the judge is going to show her favor. I'm telling you, he is. And here's the ultimate. He could max him out 10 years apiece. And like I said, we already did it. If he run concurrent, he only got to serve one, and it's 85% of that, then he's eligible for parole. But he could give him the ultimate. He could throw the book at him. He could sentence him to 10 years apiece and run it consecutive. Meaning he got served that first 10 years and then he got served the next charge on the 10 years. He could do that. I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think he's going to do that. If he do, they might have action in the appeals just on that alone. Like, that's excessive. So he's not going to do that. I honestly think whatever he's going to do, he's going to run it concurrent. Count 3 is going to run, count 5 is going to run concurrent to count 3. That's what I'm expecting. But what is he going to give him for count 3, though? Is he going to give him 6 years? I'm thinking he's giving him 6. I'm thinking it's going to be down the middle. I mean, it could be down the middle and give him 5, which means he's going to have to do at least 2.5 years before he's eligible for parole. And I think that's what he's looking at. But I wouldn't be surprised if that judge throw the book at him. The judge is already not showing him favor already. But I can't, like I said, I'm only speculating on what the judge is going to give him. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm only speculating on what the judge is going to give him. But I know when my cousin went through the system, like with certain crimes, they don't play. I know a friend of his, he got convicted of pretty much, this is somebody he met in the USP. It was pimping and pandering. And he got, how much time he got? He got 15. And the judge showed him favor. I know you guys like, how the judge show you favor? But he got that Mann Act. He got 15 years. And the judge could have sentenced him to more. What? He could sentence him to more, but he sentenced him to 15. He's out now. Like, he got some time shaved off. You know, there's certain things you could do when you're in the system to get some time shaved off, stuff like that. And you got to stay in the law library to see if there's laws that's being changed, because, you know, every administration, there's laws, and see if it's applicable to your case. So that's how he got out. But he said these judges don't play. He said they have a high standard, moral standard, and they don't like these type of situations. They don't. These people are appointed by the president of the United States. So they have a high standard when they thinking about this. So I know Puff gonna do some time. But just how much time he gonna do, I don't know. He will see the light of day again before the 30s. And I know, like, what do you mean before the 30s? Before 2030. That's what I mean. He'll be out before the 30s, I believe. Or he could come out in the 30s, in the 2030s. So we'll see. But the reason why they're trying to expedite this sentencing is because they want to hurry up and see what the sentence is so they can work it and go to the appeals, work it to action that way. He can appeal this. He can appeal those 2 charges. They can never bring him back to court on the racketeering ever again on Cassie and them. That's double jeopardy. So he's done with that. And he's done with the trafficking on Cassie and Jane. They can never come back to court and recharge him on that. It's called double jeopardy. They can never do that. But he can appeal those counts 3 and 5. He can appeal it. Get in the appeals process and work it that way. And the worst case scenario is he'll be out in a couple years. Worst case scenario. But he already knew. Puff already knew. He wasn't celebrating, really. He was praying on the verdict. Like, he prayed over that. But he wasn't celebrating because he knew, like, we got to still get out of here. Let's see if the judge, because he knew that the judge denied his bail. He kept denying his bail. So I'm thinking he wasn't expecting to get out. He was trying, though, but he knew he wasn't expecting it. But it was still like, was it a victory for him? It was a slight victory. It was a slight victory. But it kind of was bittersweet because yes, he still keeps his assets, right? They cannot touch his assets. They can't take his cars, homes, all his assets are protected now. And it's going to be harder to get him in civil court. It's going to be harder. He can fight them civil. I know people say, well, he got all the civil cases. Not a lot of that stuff is not going to stick. I told you, I was the first to tell you, like, Jane ain't sticking, yo. That case with involving Jay-Z, that's not sticking. I can tell she was lying. And there's some other cases where I can tell they lying too. A lot of that stuff is not sticking. Remember, he got money to fight this stuff than the average person. That stuff's not gonna stick. So he's gonna be okay at the end of the day. He's gonna be all right. He just that he gonna have to do a little time. He don't want to do a little time now, but he gonna be okay at the end of the day. As long as he keep in the right frame of mind. This is what I want to say though to his people. You guys have to have a stronger presence on social media. There was vloggers out there that was controlling the narrative. That's a no-no. He got enough money. He got enough money to get his own vloggers and flood the airways. He got enough money for them to get 1 million views per video to change their to bring their own narrative. That's what they have to do. And if he feels like somebody is spreading misinformation, then his lawyers are going to have to fight that. They got to sue him. Not that they're going to get anything. Maybe they can get their channels taken away. That's what he has to do. They were late to doing that. They were late on it. And it's not, for me, that's unacceptable with all the money he has. That's unacceptable. He should have been had vloggers out there. Been controlling his own narrative. Okay, this person getting 1 million views per video. Let's spend the money and promote our people so they can get 10 million views per video. That's what he should have did. Because I'm telling you right now, the jury was human. They're human. I know they was sitting up here watching this shit. I know they were watching. My jury nullification video didn't get no hits. They should have been like, you know what? Maybe we need to push that jury nullification and have one of our people copy what I said and tell the masses about jury nullification. They didn't do that. You got to have, it's real easy for him to set money aside and promote his own YouTubers to where they getting 10 million views, to where his people should have been getting at least, let me see, his people should have been at least getting 20 million views a month. That would have been fine. 20 million views, and he could have paid to do it. Because some of these people got armies behind them. I'm just letting you know this. They do. That's why certain people were being targeted. But hey, man, you can't hate the game. That's the way the game is. But now he has to pay. He got a lot of money aside and promote his people. That's what he had to do, so that the message can get out there and change his own narrative. He wasn't doing that, and I'm like, he knows social media better than anybody else. I'm not talking about these run-of-the-mill like YouTubers and stuff that's looking for clout. I'm not talking about that. He should have his own vloggers. Trust me, there's vloggers that come on the scene with clout. That's because there's a machine behind them paying money. If you don't believe me, check this out. Anybody right now, if you never did a video before, right? I can show you right now how to get 1 million views overnight. All you gotta do is pay for it. And I'm not talking about paying for bots. You pay for promotion. If you got the money, you can do it. If you got the money, you can do it. And now you got clout overnight. And people like, damn, how's this person getting views? They pay for it. It's called promotion. It's called media promoting. That's what it is. Now, some of us like me, I get it out the mud. I don't pay for anything. I just get it off the mud. That's it. But they don't have to. He got enough money where they don't have to get it out the mud. They can have the 1 million views per video every single day to change their own narrative. And if somebody is sitting there saying something about them, then his vloggers can come back at them. He has to do that. See, social media is the new media. That's what they were saying out there. That's why CNN, they got some of the vloggers on there just to cover them just a little bit because they know that's who they're competing against. Listen, there was a vlogger that was at the trial. She's getting 1 million views per video. That's a no for Puff. His people have to get 1 million views per video. His people has to get 1 million views per video, then it equals out the playing field. All he had to do is level the playing field, and these people wouldn't have been running amok on him. This narrative, listen, this was dangerous. You know that jury was listening to people. That's what I'm thinking they were. He really got he lucky he got the sentence he did. They showed him. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do not like that Mann Act. I think it needs to be abolished. I think they need to take it off the books. But he was found guilty on the Mann Act. And here's what I'm saying. I know people are saying, well, do you condone domestic violence? The answer is no. I do not condone domestic violence. I don't. And I'm not a fanboy of Puff. He's not my idol. Okay? He's not my idol. But that Mann Act had racial undertones to it. It's called the White Something Slave Act. That's what it's called. The white something. What do you mean? Because they were in fear after we were set free and chilling. They were free. They were in fear that we're going to make them slaves. You get it now? So it was started racially, and it is racial. Okay, and then so that's what I wanted to say there. Like, if you're gonna get them on the domestic, so get them on the domestic stuff. Like they said, if this was domestic, he would have been pleaded out. He would have took a plea deal. He would have plead guilty. And I've been the one to say that I don't condone the domestic stuff because that's what got him in trouble. The domestic stuff. That's what did it with Cassie and Jane as well. That one incident with Jane, she said she laid her hands on him and he hit her back. He was supposed to walk away. He was supposed to leave her house at that point. Um, but obviously it didn't happen. Hey, how you doing? Peace. So it didn't happen. So that's what as far as I mean, I don't know. That's not my thing. The freak off is not my thing. I can't. But that's his thing. But it's real easy to look at it to see if they were being coerced. But see, the thing is, the jury sided with the defense. And the reason why the jury sided with the defense, I want to say this now. I've been talking about the defense all this time. The prosecutors, they could have did better presenting their case. I damn near fell asleep when they were talking. That's an issue. You can't sit here. You can't sit here and fall asleep. You can't be sitting there having people fall asleep. Even with the closing statements, you can't be sitting there just reading and looking down reading. I mean, you got to bring the emotion, which I heard she did at the end. She did. They really tried hard to put him away. They really did. They really did. They got a slight victory because they got him on something. But it was also, I could see why his lawyers were also claiming victory as well because they saved him. Because he was facing eternity behind bars. He was facing eternity behind bars, man. But now he gonna see the light of day for sure. And his assets are protected, so he's good. But for me, 2 years is too long for me to do time. It's too long. Or they could be like, yeah, let's hurry up and get him sentenced. If he do get time, we move him out to MDC and go somewhere else. As I've heard stories about that place. And matter of fact, I think I'm gonna I might have to. We'll see. I might have to leave that to myself, but we'll see. But just to let you know, Tisa, she got bodyguards for a reason. She did. I'll let her tell that story, that part of it, if she want. But she got bodyguards for a reason. And like me, I'm a man, so it's different for me. You know what I'm saying? The element of danger was there for me as well, but it's different for a woman. She had to get bodyguards. Um, and then you also had people there jealous at her numbers. I'm just telling you how it is because I was there. Jealous at her numbers, man. Jealous at her numbers. At the end of the day, she a sister to me. So if she's sitting up there getting the numbers, I want her to get the numbers. But she a sister at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Um, so that's it right there. You know, I want all them sisters out there to do something. But everybody was out there doing their thing. But I'm gonna tell y'all something about her though. She got her shit out the mud. She did. Now whether somebody backing her now, I'm not sure, but I know she got it out the mud. And she's still doing it. She still do everything herself. I thought she had a team. No, she's doing everything herself. Thumbnails, everything. Cause I be watching her. You know what I'm saying? The thumbnails, everything. She don't got no elaborate camera. Nothing. She use her cell phone. Straight up. She don't do nothing fancy. She built up her audience. See, let me tell you something. Once you build up your audience, it ain't no turning back. As long as you don't say nothing reckless. As long as you build up the audience, you got it. You got it now. You got it forever. And she got it forever. That's what happened. And it builds. Every time she go live, it builds. It's like a compound. You ever heard of compound interest? Her thing is just building every time she goes live. The algorithm is pushing her to new people. That's what's happening. Now, did she initially have somebody backing her? They're like, let me just promote you real quick. That could have happened. She could have paid for it. But it's no turning back for her now, man. There's no turning back. No turning back. She's rivaling Tasha K. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you something, man. It is a clique out there. It is. I'm one of part of the clique. I'm not gonna tell you what they call the clique. It's not politically correct because I don't want nobody to think I'm attacking. You know what I'm saying? A certain community. But there's a clique. You know what I'm saying? There's a certain clique, and I don't fit in with the clique. I do not. They knew I was there, but they did. After a while, they warmed up to me. Hey, what's up, Max? What's up? You know, blah blah blah. It was all love. And they be like, man, who is this dude, man? They was like, oh, that's yeah, I know who he is. You know what I'm saying? I was on the outskirts. I'm not the type of a person to try to get with it. I'm on my own, yo. I'm on my own. You know, I'm a one man army. I used to say it. I'm the one man army, a son. That's how I am. I'm the one man army, a son. That's it. Rest in peace to him. Wu Tang. I'm a one man army, man. And I'm just like Tisa. She a one woman army. She got her camera, and you know how animated she is. It's funny watching her live because she's that animated. But she got her bodyguards though. She said, "Come over here if you want to." She said, "You Diddy Glazer." She said, "You want to sit there and pipe them off?" Yo, she was just talking reckless to him. Like, yeah, you getting gangster with him. Like, yeah, you want to just pipe him off. And I bet you he walked away. He was too clean to sit up there and talk reckless. He was too clean because I said it. He's sitting up there with his, his polo sneakers on, looking like, you know what I'm saying? He too clean to be getting into the funk. You know what I'm saying? We boots on the ground. We boots on the ground. He too light in the ass to get in the funk. She would have took his ass out. I'm telling you, she would have took him out. He too light in the ass. I'm just telling you. He too light in the ass. But see, for me, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to clean up my act. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to refine myself a little bit. But I'm me. I'm just being me. You know what I'm saying? Just me, yo. That's it. That's all you got to be at the end of the day. You're enough. If anybody listening right now, you want to do content, you are good enough. You're good enough. Just keep doing your content and keep it pushing. You're good enough. You're good enough. You're good enough. Your ideas are good enough. That's it. And don't watch nobody else because they are watching you. But just don't worry about nobody. Don't worry about nobody else's blessings because your blessings could come where you be ducking a straight bullet or something. That's where your blessings could come. My blessings could have came from avoiding an accident with these crazy ass drivers in New York because I had to drive to New York. I wasn't trying to take the train, so my crazy ass drove. And your blessings come from many places. Don't worry about nobody else's blessings because when she got to that level, she got a new set of problems because she got haters everywhere, and they watching her. But she took care of it. She got bodyguard. They weren't regular bodyguards though. I'm just letting y'all know if y'all weren't there. They were not regular. I saw the lapel, the pins on the lapel. So, but she said it, man. She doing her thing. There was a couple other vloggers I met out there that was real cool. Neek at Night is cool. Armand is cool. That was hilarious with the baby oil, though. I'm telling you, it was hilarious, man. And there was another lady out there that messed the whole scene up. See, he had a whole thing he was doing, and she sat up there and she flashed herself, if you know what I mean. She sure did, and that's when I knew it was time to go. And then they started boxing us in because they said it was a community alert happening, and that's what happened. A community alert went out, and when I tell you it was police everywhere, oh, there was police everywhere, everywhere. A lot of people say, oh, they barricading because Puff is gonna come out. Nah, yo, they barricading that stuff for us, for us. Anytime you got a bunch of melanated people around showing out, they get nervous. That's what happened. You just got to know how to get out of Dodge. I got right out of Dodge. I saw them barricading us in. I'm out and went right up in there and waited for the proceedings to happen. Shout out to his mother, Miss Combs. She's a trooper. Man, she stayed there every day, man, seeing about her boy, man. You know what I'm saying? That's her boy at the end of the day. And he looked back at her one day and told her she looked nice and don't worry, it's okay. He was trying to calm her down. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? You look nice today, though. She's, like that. She do look nice. I ain't gonna lie to you. For her age, she looks really good for her age, man. And she with it too. She's spunky with it. She sure is. He well taken care. She took care of his mother. Sure did. Whole family taken care of. And I like how they handled themselves throughout this whole thing because it was stressful. They conducted themselves like gentlemen. They sure did. I have to give them that. I was watching them. They sure did. How they handled themselves under pressure, everything. So regardless how you feel about it, then his family at the end of the day, man. You know what I'm saying? So they did real good. Um, yeah, man, tensions were high, man. When they said he had a verdict, I wasn't there yet. I was driving. I told you, I said, as soon as I get out the car, the verdict is done. Then I heard counts 3 and 5. I say 3 and 5 is the Mann Act. Here we go with that Mann Act. Here we go. I did a paper on Jack Johnson when I was in college. So I know exactly what the Mann Act and how they use it against Jack Johnson. Because Jack Johnson said, I'm a human just like everybody else. Ain't no such thing. Ain't no slavery no more. I'm a human being and I'm going to do what the hell I want to do. And he stuck his middle finger up at society. He was a Renaissance man. You know how the boxers, they wear the tailored suits and all that? They got that from Jack Johnson. He was a Renaissance man. He was very well spoken too, self-educated. And the women loved him. They loved him because of that. And it wasn't a bar. He didn't, it was all, the bars were segregated and all that. He still said, come on in, welcome in, come on in, Mr. Johnson, come on in. You know what I'm saying? He lived his life how he wanted to live his life. And that's why he was really protesting the Mann Act. He was protesting it. And that's why he lived his life the way he did. He was truly before his time. And what happened was he was in Europe and, they wanted him to do jail time over that Mann Act. And finally, he turned himself in. He wanted to come back and see his mother anyway. When he turned himself in, the warden at the jail, you can research it, he would not put handcuffs on him. He said, we got to treat him with dignity as a man. We're not putting handcuffs on him. They would not lock the cell either. When he sat in his cell, they would not lock it. They kept it open. He said, and Warren said, because he was innocent, he didn't do nothing, and we treating him like a man. And when he went and turned himself in, he shook his hand. What's up, champ? He shook his hand. He said, we're not putting handcuffs on you, champ. You know what I'm saying? You have full reign in the building. We're not locking you in the cell either. That's what happened with Jack Johnson. Fast forward, in present day, when Trump became president, he pardoned him. I knew he was going to pardon him because he's a boxing fan. If you know Trump with Mike Tyson back in the day, Trump Plaza, he had a lot of hand in Mike making a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So I knew he was going to pardon Jack Johnson. That was like one of his favorite boxers, other than Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson. So, you know what I'm saying? He pardoned him. He didn't have to pardon Muhammad Ali because, you know, Muhammad Ali, he set precedent in the United States Supreme Court. His case set precedent. Just go look at it. United States versus Muhammad Ali. Go look. He set precedent. He won in the Supreme Court. So he didn't have to pardon him. Although the damage was done because we were robbed of his prime. We literally was robbed of it because he had to sit out of boxing for a while. But getting back to Jack Johnson with the Mann Act, it really sets home with me because Jack didn't do it. He didn't do that, man. You know what I'm saying? But then they also put in the Mann Act that it could be consensual. The reason why is because of Jack Johnson. That was his, you know, those are his, and then somebody had spread some misinformation. Another brother spread misinformation at that, talking about Jack Johnson was moving around prostitutes. No, he was not. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. How's his wife a prostitute, man? No, he was not. They were what they were doing, him and his wife, what they were doing was they were protesting freedom. They wanted to live how they wanted to live. That's what they were doing. He was very politically aware. Like I said, he's a Renaissance man. Now, if you're talking about an idol, he was one of my idols. Because I wanted to be a boxer growing up, and I studied him, and he was like, and I remember my coach used to talk about Jack Johnson and his stance, and he really was one of the first boxers to use the 52 blocks, even though it wasn't called the 52 blocks back then. But he was really kind of practicing it, and he was beating their ass with it because they couldn't hit him. And when he was beating their ass, did you know every time he won a fight, somebody got lynched in the South? This was crazy back then. It was crazy. Even that movie King Kong, they was making fun of Jack Johnson on his reign over New York City. It's crazy, man. But then here it is, in present day, they're still using the Mann Act on people. They're still using it. Now, don't get me wrong. If he was sitting out here pimping out these women and getting money off it, yeah, I'm like, he guilty. All right, use the Mann Act, then he's guilty, I guess. I don't believe people should do that, but, you know, it is what it is. In that lifestyle, some people are okay within that lifestyle, but, you know, like I said, I'm not in the lifestyle. But this case didn't call for prostitute. He wasn't pimping. He was not. And he damn sure didn't have them. What do he need create a criminal organization for, and he just sitting up there with billions of dollars? It's crazy. It's not that I'm trying to take up for him. It's my idol, but I'm just, what right is right and what's wrong is wrong. So anyway, the jury, and you see me, I'm not sitting up there saying the jury got it wrong, because the jury has spoken. They had a hard job, and they were very thorough in their investigation and looking at the they were very thorough in looking at, you know, the evidence and stuff like that. And that's what happened. And they found him guilty on 3 and 5. I don't particularly, you know what I'm saying, I got other thoughts on that, but they have spoken already. The judge said that, well, the jury has spoken. They have found you guilty on counts 3 and 5. So now we can move for the next situation for sentencing. But when he said October, everybody like, oh my God, hell no, I ain't trying to wait till October. No, I'm not. That's damn near before the holidays. I'm not trying to wait before no October. Like, let's let's streamline this and make it right now. Like, let's do this next. If it's up to them, they'll do this next week. If it's up to them, but they got to get it together. This is a case I'll never forget. With all the vloggers coming around. Um, this is not the only case I'm gonna follow. I'm waiting on Rex Heuermann's case, the Gilgo Beach serial killer, the alleged serial killer. But they're trying to decide with Rex Heuermann right now if they're gonna have all the cases in one trial, or they're gonna have the separate victims in separate trials. That's what they're trying to decide right now. I think it's a total of 8 victims right now. It could possibly be more. Um, Rex Heuermann, he's the alleged serial killer. So I'm going to be following that case. I do know Luigi Mangione case is going to be big. You think Puff's case was big? His case is going to be big too. Luigi Mangione, and it's going to be in the Southern District of New York, the same courthouse. That's going to be big. He got supporters on top of supporters. So I will be back for that one, and I'm waiting on Rex Heuermann to see when. They said roughly about in the 2025, 2026. His case should be ready. He's fighting it too. He's pleaded not guilty. Now he could turn into a Brian Kohlberger and say, I'm pleading out. But he's not facing the death penalty though. Brian Kohlberger was. But we're gonna see Rex Heuermann gonna be a big case because he's a alleged serial killer. And I believe he started in the 1970s. And they also believe that there's more victims out there. And they just don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like how many victims it could be. It could be hundreds. We don't know. So, but they got him for 8. And it was crazy how the feds got him. Like, because they got him right when he got off work. They knew he was going to act again because he bought a burner phone. His family was out of town. So he's ready. He was looking at the ads and stuff, his thing was trying to find escorts, Rex Heuermann. So I'm waiting on that one. I'm not sure when Luigi trial going to start. Probably 2026 at some point. I don't know which quarter, but he's fighting it. Right as of right now, he's fighting his case. He said he's not guilty, and they talking about jury nullification in his case as well. So we're gonna see. That's gonna be a big case, Southern District of New York. So I will be back in that building. So now, what will happen if Puff is sentenced? Right? If he has to do jail time, he can appeal it. He got 14 days after the sentencing to file the appeal, and he do have some fine lawyers for the appeal process. He does. He got Brian Steele. He got Alexandra Shapiro. He got some good lawyers just for the appellate already, and he definitely have action. I think he does have action in the appeal. Everybody have action. It just depends. You got to go through the case with a fine-tooth comb to find errors. Not new evidence, though, errors in his case that violated his constitutional rights. He could take it all the way to the Supreme Court. That's his option as well. But right now, he got 14 days after sentencing. They trying to speed this up. So, but I do know that he he got some hell of a representation though. He do. He paid for it. He didn't spare no expense. He didn't spare no expense in his representation. I ran into his lawyer yesterday. I ran into Tenny Garagos. I also ran into Mark Garagos as well. Mark Garagos was in the cafeteria just chilling. You know what I'm saying? Happy for his daughter. You know what I mean? His old girl. You know what I'm saying? Got a little slight victory under her belt. You know what I'm saying? In a big case. He was just chilling. He the OG. He already know how things gonna go. Um, he runs a podcast as well. I saw I ran into Tenny Garagos. I said hello to her, and that's not the first time I ran into her, but I ran into her. She still had a game face on though. She was focused. So yeah, man, just the experience of it all, man. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget the experience. Never forget it. High profile trial, boots on the ground. Never forget it. It was like a circus outside, though. It was people yelling at each other, this and that. Trying to get a viral moment. That's what they were doing. They weren't fighting out there. They were trying to get a viral moment. They try, look at me. Like look at me. That's what they were doing. Get that viral moment. Now I missed the lawyers talking because I was up the street. I had enough. Just the energy and stuff. It makes you tired. I had enough, man. I had enough excitement for one day. But yeah, man, people out there hustling, man, trying to get their footage and stuff like that. Um, Definitely is a hustle. Now, I never forget this though. This is the trial I'm never gonna forget. Like I'll never forget the Aaron Hernandez trials. I'll never forget Markeith Lloyd trial. I'll never forget um, what's his name, Mark Severs. I'll never forget Mark Severs trial when we covered it. I definitely never forget Markeith Lloyd. I'll never forget the Latin Kings guy in Florida. Now, that case was crazy. We followed the Latin Kings person that was he was a high-ranking member in the Latin Kings. He had a triple murder case in Florida. He killed his wife and her two kids, but they couldn't find the bodies. They believed that he fed them to alligators, and he still got convicted though. He got convicted with no bodies. I'll never forget that case. It didn't receive a lot of fanfare, not a lot of attention, but I've been doing this, and I know a lot about the legal system. I don't even care if lawyers are around. I know. I know what I know. I don't know everything, but I know a little something. And I just will never forget these cases. And Puff is no different. And, you know, I'll never forget it. This was a historic case because it's Puff. That's why. I don't know if it's quite like the case of the century like OJ. This was before social media, of course. OJ had the country divided. This case didn't have the country divided. OJ did. I'm talking about racially divided. That's how big that was. Racially divided. But Puff, nah. It was divided to people, certain people, but this had the whole country watching OJ. But I guess when the verdicts came in on this case, it was rather intense as well. So people were just like, man, people were celebrating too. Like, yeah, he didn't the RICO and this and that. I'm like, wait a minute, he's still found guilty on something though. It's a slight victory, but they're not taking his assets, and so he escaped that. Um, I did see the jury, just by the way. Get that bill paid down. Now they want y'all to create magic. Give them the telephone number and the website to call and get up. Yeah, don't create magic to pay bills. She right about that. But yeah, Puff was trying, man. He was like, man, that, and then his lawyer said, man, I don't see a glimmer of hope in your face, Judge. He said, I had a pro presentation, but you just said no bail. The judge heard him out anyway. He said, go ahead, I'll hear you anyway. He said, prosecutors, do you guys want to say anything? Man, Comey got up. It was almost like she was yelling the way she was talking. I'm like, whoa. And then she just sat down like, damn, she wasn't playing. No, I don't think he should get out. And we got to wait till sentencing in October. And they was like, no, we can't do this in October. We got to do this now. So yeah, I just, I don't like, I'm a little weary when people, well, I don't know. People say, if you support them, it's like it's your idol and stuff. I don't agree with all that. Definitely not my idol. Um, I'm just for, just to hear the case. But all Kelly was like, y'all fought yesterday. Yeah, I'm just for the law. See what happens. But this case did not disappoint. You said he's still going to be waiting till October. No, they're going to do it before October. The sentencing happened before then. They're going to have it as soon as possible. And the judge is okay with that. Both sides are okay with it. The prosecutor told me, I'm okay with that. If that's what he want to do, I'm okay with that. They just have to have a meeting Tuesday to find out when it's going to be. But they're going to have it via teleconference Tuesday. They're not going to be in the court. If they were going to be in the courtroom, I would have been there. I probably would have gotten the main courtroom at that point because all the hoopla is over. I'm still here, so. But it's not happening. They teleconference. Yeah, I've been following legal cases since OJ. I've been following precedent cases, Brown versus the Board of Education. I know it by heart. I did a paper on that in college. I did a paper on, the Loving case. I studied all the Thurgood Marshall cases. Um, he was before his time, Thurgood Marshall. He was too good to deny. He made it all the way to the Supreme Court. Chief Justice Marshall of the Supreme Court, United States Supreme Court. I studied all his cases. Um, I couldn't afford law school, so I wasn't trying. I started seeing those prices. I got in University of Virginia, University of Richmond, and a few other places, but I couldn't afford it. It was not my cup of tea. No way. I know attorneys right now that still got student loans. They never paying them off. And I think that's a problem. I think they should forgive them. I mean, if these lawyers pay a lot of money for their education, man. They do. Thank you, Shah, for the blessing. They pay a lot. They thank you for the blessing. They pay a lot for their education, man. And not every lawyer is going to be in a high-powered firm making thousands of dollars. They're not. That's not reality. Just because you're a lawyer don't mean you're making a lot of money. You got to be good. You got to be exceptional because it's the competition is high. Just like when you out there trying to find um, cases, like as far as civil cases, it's a competition. I know somebody work out of his house doing workman's comp cases and settlements like that. He take those cases pro bono, and he get his money if the case is settled. So one month he might not even get nothing, and the next month he could have 30,000 in his bank account, and he got to make that money stretch. It's not glamorous. It's not a glamorous lifestyle. It's all about connections. If you got connections, you're gonna roll. Yep, you're gonna roll if you got connections. Just like the judge, Submarinian, he had connections. He was a clerk for Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. He got connections already. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta have connections too. That matters. Or you can just be exceptional. Like you just exceptional. The word gets around. They often call some lawyers ambulance chasers. So, like, yo, we gotta, get this. Like this one attorney, his name is being dragged through the mud. I'm not gonna drag his name through the mud. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna do it. I know how hard it is, and that lifestyle is hard. Hard to make money. It's hard, man, to be exceptional with it. Or you can just be like Jose Baez, just great, yo. Your name, your price go up. But these lawyers that Puff had, they've been doing this for many years. Xavier Donaldson, he's been doing it for many years. Mark Agnifilio, many years. Alexander Shapiro, many years. All of them. Many years they've been doing this. They not new to it. They true to it. So the money afforded him to have this representation. That man, he had a slight victory on the feds. You know how they say they have a high conviction rate? Well, guess what? They didn't get him on those main charges. He had a slight victory now. He did. He took it all the way to the door and had a slight victory. The racketeering, no. The jury is the most important people. They decided. They decided, man. And I got a chance to see the jury when they was driving out. They waved and everything to us. Yep. Very diverse jury, I can tell you. Some lawyers said this is the most diverse they've ever seen. Very diverse. And they took their time with it too. So very diverse, man. So they got him on the Mann Act. Man. But imagine if it was not guilty all the way down, he'd be gone right now. He'd probably be somewhere in Miami. He'd be gone. But it didn't happen, so we'll see. We'll see with the judge. The judge has full discretion. What's going to happen is, I already know what's going to happen at sentencing. I know it by heart. So what's going to happen is both sides are going to argue their mitigating circumstances on why he should, like the defense, on why he should be sentenced on the low end. The prosecutors, why he should be sentenced on what they want, right? The judge is going to listen. Are there victim impact statements? Sometimes the victims don't have to be there. The prosecutors will read it. And then there will be impact statements on the defense, like his mom could speak, his children could speak. Um, but I'm going to tell you something from my experience, those victim impact statements, man. One case that I remember that stands out to me with the victim impact statements was involving them gymnasts. That guy you talking about, he should have been thrown under the jail. Them victim impact statements, I had to cut it off. I couldn't listen to it. I couldn't listen to it, man. He was, oh man, that I'll never forget that. But yes, the victim impact statements, man, they just gonna be read. I'm sure Cassie will have one. I'm sure she's gonna say, I feel like my life's in danger. The judge is gonna show her favor. So that's why I'm saying he's gonna get a little bit of time. And he already said it, he's a threat to the community. So we'll see, though. The judge has full discretion, though. It's 0 to 10 years. He could say, you know what? I sentence you to 6 months apiece. If he sentenced him to 6 months apiece, damn sure can walk out of the courtroom right then and there. Do the rest on parole, a little bit of time, that's it. Or sentence him to time served, all the way up to 10 years apiece. That's it. That's his room he has. He's not going above 10 years. Those are the guidelines. Maximum 10 years. He can't say 12. Oh, well, the maximum is 20. 10 on each. So he can go up to 20. Now, if he say it's consecutive, oh my God, you really gonna have a fallout in that room. It's gonna be a fallout. I think that'll be a little bit too excessive in my opinion, but we'll see. I don't think it's gonna be consecutive. I've seen I've seen people get sentenced and they fall out in court. There's one guy, he pleaded out. He pleaded guilty thinking that he was only gonna get 10 years. Next thing you know, that judge said, I sentenced you to 2.5 years for this count. 3 years in this count. This is going to run consecutive to this account. I sentence you 10 years this count. It's concurrent for this. I sent you 10 to this. It's consecutive. He's like, what? That man started wilding out. He almost attacked his attorneys. His attorney was just sitting there, just like, damn. He sentenced that man to 50 years. Most of it is consecutive, which is essentially a life sentence. And the judge said, you understand that you plead and that I still have the power. I mean, I can sentence you to whatever I want. You understand that. You still want to plead? Yes, I want to plead, because he was told he wasn't going to get but 10 years. That judge started maxing him out. He laid him out, man. That's what you call laying somebody out. He got laid out in court. It will be crazy if it's consecutive. If count 5 is consecutive to count 1, that means he got to serve out count 3 before he get to count 5. Now, it's up to your own interpretation if you think that he's a danger to society. Now, there's some people that came out already and said their life on the line. I can't argue with them. I don't know. Maybe they have reason to believe that their life is on the line, but I don't know Puff like that. I don't know if he's capable of that. I would think not, because it will come back to him. So I would think no. I would say no. He's smart. He's not doing that. But that's what she said in her letter. I have a fear for my life. Imagine what the victim impact statement gonna be like. And the judge gonna be like, okay, so what's gonna happen is after you listen to that, the judge said we're gonna take a break and I'll come back with my decision. And then he'll come back, and what he'll do is he will give a speech first, talking about the case. He give his speech, and he said, okay, now we're at the sentencing part. May the defendant please rise. On count 3, Mr. Combs, I sentence you to this. And count 5, I sentence you to this. And guess what? It's over. That's it. He leave. He can leave the room. It's over with. And then he will say that you do know that you can appeal this sentence. You have 14 days to file your appeal. I just want to let you know that. Do you know your appellate rights? Yes. Yes, Your Honor. That's it. And he leave the courtroom. It ain't no more business. That's it. The trial will officially be over. Trial not over yet. It'll officially be over after the sentencing. And then after that, he'll have some kind of appellate. He'll go to the appellate like that and do it like that. I'm pretty sure he's going to appeal it. And but if not, best case scenario is I sentence you to time served. You can go home, because he already have 10 months in the game now. He got 10 months in the box. By the time he gets sentenced, maybe he have 11 months. So maybe he say, I'll sentence you to a total of a year. You got time served. A couple of months you just do on the street. Something like that. So, but yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, he did say the judge was doing a great job. He did. Yeah, the judge. He did say that to the judge. I think he did as well. I think he did a good job. He sound like he's been there. I know this is his first like trial, but it's like he's been here before. You know, and he didn't look like he didn't know what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. They couldn't buffalo him around. He knew what he was doing. The judge was good. He was great. You say use his own words. Believe Cassie. He's violent. Bail denied. Yeah, well, he said you already submitted to it in your closing of the domestic stuff. So he's violent, and he's a threat to the community. Now, like I said, is he a threat really? I don't know. But I'm gonna tell you though, I will give him this credit. He took this all the way to the box. He did not open his mouth. You know how people say he gonna give up this, he gonna give up people. He did not give up nobody. He kept his mouth shut. He didn't give up nobody, like they said. Like they said he was going to do. He didn't do that. He sat there and fought his case, and that's pretty much what I saw. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, he fought his case to the very end, man. He did not give. He did not. You said a threat to women. Well, I don't know him like that to be a threat to women. I can't say that. See, it'll be reckless for me to say that. I would say, oh yeah, he is a threat to women. He is. He is going to off people. I can't say that. I don't know him. I don't have any firsthand information that he's going to be a threat to anybody. All I know is he was just sitting there fighting his case. That's all he was doing. What's up, Celebrity Scandalous? Shout out to Celebrity. She was with me, man. I met her at the trial. She's really cool. So I got some contacts on the West Coast, Oakland area, West Coast. That's my West Coast massive. Um, Hopefully we do some collaborations in the future. We're going to work that out. And I met some other people as well. Miss Knockout, Danita Chantel. Who else did I meet? I met a lot of people. Armand. Um, yeah, I met a lot of people up there at the trial. Yeah, I didn't hear that. B, I didn't hear that. Maybe he did. Mal, I think they reported that he said, "I'm coming home." I don't know if he said. Did he say that in court? Because I wasn't there for the sentencing. I mean, I wasn't there for the when the verdict came out. Did he say that? I mean, eventually he is coming home. He's right about that. Yeah, Neek at night. I met Neek at night. I met them all actually. I met them all. I didn't meet Ratchet TV, even though I was around him. I didn't shake his hand or anything like that. I didn't agree with what he did with Tisa. I didn't agree with it. I didn't agree. You don't yell at the ladies like that. And I met Tisa Tells. Shook her hand and everything. Yo, she's hilarious. She said, "And what is your name, sir?" Very professional. She's very professional. I said, "My name is Max, Tisa. Nice to meet you, Max." And she walked off with her bodyguards. She got on my video. Shout out to Tisa, man. Very professional with it. You said, what happened to Tisa Tell lies? Oh, that's what he was saying. He said she was lying. Now, what I can say is she's definitely against that domestic violence stuff. She's not playing when it comes to that. She's not playing. She said domestic violence this, domestic violence that. That's what she's against. She has a right to be against it. I just know I met her. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I met Tisa Tells, man. I met Rotten Mango too. Who else I mean? I met Rotten Mango, Tisa, met them all, man. I met them all. Met them all. Yeah, I'm known as celebrity's bodyguard. They thought I was a big guys. They thought I was a bodyguard at first. They thought I was a bodyguard for somebody. I'm the bodyguard. Because when Tisa, somebody was getting at her before, early on in the trial, I was standing like off to the side. I said, I'm not gonna let this crazy deranged person do nothing to her. And he didn't see me. That'd have been his fault. He didn't see me. I'm like off to the side and I'm watching him and I'm coming closer and closer. So if he had did something, his ankles would have been exposed. I would have took him out, took his ankles out with my size 14s. All you gotta do is step on him on an angle. When you break his ankle, it's done. The threat is over. That's it. I would have been. I'm right in back of him. Right in back of him. I'm not gonna put him in the full Nelson. Like what's his name from Dipset? He said he put the dude in the full Nelson. He said he had him so tight. man, his Freaky Zeke, right? I'm not gonna do the Freaky Zeke and put him in a full Nelson, but I was right in back of him. So I said, "Oh, I can just take his look. He was big on top, skinny leg. Let's just take his legs out. He'd have been done. He can't walk, so what are you gonna do at that point? Yeah, put him in the full Nelson." He said, "I had him so tight that he just swung his legs and I got hit." What the fuck? He really did get shot during that incident. He did. Freaky Zeke. Yeah, TMZ, the guy from TMZ said I should do radio. And I was like, "Man, you funny." He said, "No, I'm serious." I don't hear myself like that. I think I sound regular. Um, Let me see. Yeah, met mostly everybody. Shade Room. Oh, he Celebrity got the hookup. She might be doing some TMZ stuff in the future. He gave her the contact. Who else? We met everybody, just about. The lady from the Breakfast Club. I got a contact at Hot 97. Shout out to Bato from Hot 97. Um, yeah, they'll be back for sentencing. I'm pretty sure Tisa might be back for sentencing. Um, and whoever's in the New York area, they'll probably be back for the sentencing is important. That's going to last a while because they got the victim impact statements and everything. So people will be back for that. Some people will. His name is Bato, whatever, I forget. Yeah, she gonna be back for sentencing for sure. Yeah, I met Gloria Allred on the elevator and her daughter, all on the elevator. She was directing everybody on the elevator. It was hilarious. "Okay, sir, you get right here. You're the bodyguard, so you get right here." Talking to me. It's like you. Okay, this person got these big ass dogs not on a leash. Why do people do that, yo? Why do people got their big ass dogs not on a leash? For the big ass dogs to go bite you. Yeah, you hugged yeah, she hugged Diddy mother. Was that yesterday? But you did hug, I remember. She cool though. His mother's mad cool. Yeah, she mad cool. I mean, we saw her every day, so they got to know it. They got to see everybody every day. She be in the break room and stuff. Is she 85? She looks good for her age, man. And she's with it. She's a trooper, man. She there every day to see about her boy. And she was like, "I gotta go back and get my baby and see if he get out today." Yeah, she was definitely there. Hey, what's up, Quan? You said Ratchet TV very violent towards women. I didn't know he had an open case. Dog sat right next to me. It's hilarious. Yeah, he was loud towards Tisa. Oh, he has a domestic case, but he was not going to get next to her though. Yeah, he wasn't getting next to her. Her bodyguards were just watching him. Yeah, they well trained. They were just sitting there. YouTube. Yeah, she was live streaming at the time. He made himself look like a fool because I'm sitting there. I said, man, he too clean to be sitting there selling these wolf tickets. He heard me too. He just kind of looked at me. I said, look how clean he is out here with his polo shoes on trying to sell wolf tickets. I said, out here showing out. I edited that part out. I said, he's sitting up here showing out, sitting up here showing his ass, showing out. Just he trying to get a viral moment. That's what he was trying to do. That was his goal. He not did not. Now he can't do it like how did not do it. Did not do it and make it funny. He got at this guy out there called Secret Service Sam. That was hilarious because he was lying. He said, "You sitting up here lying, out here making money off black peoples." He said, "You want Diddy to see your bussy." He was like, "What? See my what?" He said, "Your bussy." He said, "You just want Diddy to see your bussy." And Denat was funny with it. The Secret Service Sam guy. That was funny. You say you feel bad for Tisa. It seems like she goes through it. No, she's good. They weren't getting at her. She had bodyguards around. There ain't wasn't nobody getting in her face. She was good. It wasn't nobody getting in her face. Every time she walked, they with her. You just can't see them in the camera, but they're in back of her. And she wasn't the only one that had bodyguards. The lady, Jerika from CBS, she had a bodyguard. There wasn't nobody getting next to her either. She had a bodyguard for sure. And he was in the courtroom with her for sure. Yeah, they had bodyguards, man, just in case, because it was kind of crazy out there. So yeah, let me get some bodyguards, man, for sure. Armand, and he's getting dragged. Yeah, the Daily Mail because of the oil incident, like because of the oil, like trying to say he making fun of the situation. He had oil all over him, yo. They were rubbing the oil on him. It was crazy. Yeah, Ratchet T. Yeah, he kept his distance. Because he know better. And I got right up on him because if you see on the live chat, I was standing right next to him. My camera was right there. I said, "Look at him showing out. Look at him. Look at him showing out now. He too clean to be out here showing out. Yeah, he too petite to be sitting up there being showing out now." Okay, yeah, celebrity. Yeah, she was chased. I wasn't gonna tell nobody that, but I was gonna let her tell it. But that's why she got bodyguards. She was chased, y'all. I was right there. I wasn't gonna let nothing happen to her. Because the dude that chased her, he was like trying to keep messing with her. I was right there. I thought he was joking, but he wasn't. I guess I am the bodyguard. Yeah, he was a little petite. He's too petite to be acting showing out, being petite. He's like a damn near size one. How you gonna be a size one sitting up here showing out, and you a size 1. Sitting up there acting crazy in front of this federal court building, all them police looking at you. Because what y'all didn't see was she did have bodyguards, but in the background, there was police there too, looking at them. Yeah, the lady with the blue wig, I had to get away from her because she started showing her chest. So I had to get away. I didn't want to get banned. Yep, she showed it. Put oil on and everything. People oiled her up. She out there with drawers on, straight up. She said, these are not drawers. This is tights. I said, no, they not. And she said, I should give you a hug. She said that to me. I should give you a hug right now with this oil and everything on me. I should hug you. Lord have mercy. She said, I should hug you right now. She had all the oil on. Yeah, she been wilding out for a while. She used to wear a mask too. They were getting at Torre too. You know, Torre, the journalist. They were trying to get at him too, saying he a op, but he wasn't trying to hear it. He's like, man, y'all go ahead, man. I'm going over in this area. Shout out to MTA, man. She gave herself a bird bath one day in her underwear. The knob said, this is so inappropriate. Put your clothes back on, sis. He said, it's inappropriate. She said, this is my swimsuit. No, it wasn't. It was drawers. And she was giving herself a bird bath. Yeah, man. She straight up gave herself a bird bath right at the federal court, man. I mean, you can't make this up, yo. A bird bath. Washing underarms, bird bath. You know what I mean? Washing the hot spots. He said, put your dress back on. This is inappropriate. Yeah, the bird bath right there. You know where the water is by the courtroom? Right there. She was doing it. And one day she was just, the little monument thing, she was laid out on it, just chilling. She's unhinged. Yeah, Torre, him, yep. He said, when you say a teenager, how old are you talking? Torre looked down like, what? How old are you talking? Oh, yeah, Gene and Denat, yeah. Gene said, I'm going to lay you out. You come over here again. He wasn't at the verdict. Gene wasn't there. Oh, Lil Kim with the blue wig. She said she freak off ready. That's what she said. I'm freak off ready. I'm ready to go. She said, is he getting out? Because I'm ready to go to freak off. She said she ready. Yeah, she said that to celebrity. You look like you got dressed in the mirror today. Shout out to her, man. Celebrity was like, Max, man, where's your car? Man, I ain't trying to go all the way down there. I'm parked all in West Bubble. But it wasn't that far. It was all right. We sat out there and chilled for a minute. Yeah, we sat out there and chilled. He said demonic energy eyes. I don't know. It was weird out there. It was a weird kind of energy. No, I don't think it was a Rico case. The jury didn't think so either. Nah, it wasn't, definitely wasn't Rico. You know, if you want to get him on the man, I get it. It's really easy to convict on that one. Oh yeah, she probably be back for the sentencing to show out. Because if that judge sit up there and max him out, oh my God, Lord have mercy. I might need some milk. Don't max him out. Yeah, a Frico is not a Rico. I got a shirt that say that a Frico is not a Rico. He said he's trying to say the Rico is the Frico. But he said, see what I'm saying? A Frico is not a Rico. Now, Miss Knockout said she came up with that slogan first. So I don't know. She said that. She came up with that. He said, be careful this holiday weekend. I don't be out here at night during the 4th of July. That's when the shot's gonna be fired. Okay? That's where all the gunfire, hot fire. That's where that's gonna be happening. Yeah, I was outside during the verdict. So I didn't hear him say. They said he said he about to get out or something. I didn't hear him say that. Did he say that? I saw Murad, the big vlogger from the UK. He was sitting there. He said he was sitting there telling me what to do. He said you need to put out content like your life on the line. He said you got to want this, okay? You got to want it so bad. I said okay, Murad. He said you got to want it real bad. Yeah, Rico ain't a freako. He said, but that man act though, I know. It's that man act. MANN. He said Puff got to his knees, prayed. I didn't. Did he say he was coming home? I didn't hear that. I didn't hear people talking about that. Yeah, I talked to Murad. 2 counts of the man act. But I know why he got down, man. They said not guilty. Count 1, not guilty. Count 2, not guilty. Woo. Count 3, guilty. Count 4, not guilty. Count 5, guilty. That's the man act. Then he got down and prayed. You said you simping. Really? You said I'm simping? I'm simping, really? Well, how am I simping? Because I said, well, how am I simping? You said you simping, really? How am I simping? How am I simping, though? I saw the comment. You said, you simping, really? How am I simping? Like, let me know how I'm simping. Because I said I met Tisa. I'm not going to what? Because I'm not sitting up there yelling at her? I'm not yelling at no females, man. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Oh, he can't respond? Oh, you took care of it? All right, well, you can't respond. Did you time him out or ban him? Oh, he was timed out for a few seconds. I want to hear what he say about the simping. Okay, let's see what he say about the simping. Let's see. Let's see what he say first. Like, let me know how I'm simping. I wish I would be sitting up there yelling at her. You crazy? No, I'm not. If anything, I had to stay focused. I had to stay focused. Yes, indeed, I had to stay focused. Remember, it's politics before the you know what. It's consciousness over cookies. I had to get my Umar Johnson on, man. I had to stay focused. It is consciousness over the cookies. Okay? And you know when Umar say that, he's not really staying focused. But he got to say that. That's his thing, his manual, his thing. But I had to say it. I said, Lord have mercy, I got to stay focused. She out here looking like she on the runway. I got to stay them heels and everything. She ain't playing. You hear me? Tisa wasn't playing in the game. She's sitting up there with her heels on. You said snow bunnies never. It was some snow bunnies out there. But you got to stay focused. I had to use in the spirit of Mr. Johnson. When is school coming? I haven't caught up with him. Is school coming? He's supposed to be having something soon, a cookout or something. You said Tisa came to slay, and she hustled though. I'm not gonna sit up here and talk down on her. I have to stay focused though. I had to stay focused. I'm like that. It's politics, consciousness over the cookies. It's consciousness. I said that when he was sitting there yelling at. I said I got to stay focused. I got to stay focused. And I said he's sitting up here too. He's sitting up here selling wolf tickets. I'm sitting up there talking to him, and he can hear me because I'm right there. I said he's selling wolf tickets. He trying to get a viral moment. Yeah, she was very nice. She do got some size on her. She's tall. She like 6'2" with heels on. For sure. You said her and Armand were really the MVPs outside of Diddy. Armand did his thing. Yes, he did. He did. They tried to get on him at the end, though. You said you defend that guy. Okay, let's see. What happened was the pushing. Hold on, Mr. Touch said, you said what happened was she was pushing an agenda for the DA. Um, Let me speak on that. So yeah, that's what people were saying, guys, that she was hired by the DA. So my question is, how do y'all know? How do y'all know? Do you gotta because the people that were saying that they be lying. They the ones be lying. So you gonna believe somebody out there lying? But how do you know she was pushed by the DA? Like, let me know. How was she? Where is the information coming from? Because the people that were saying is the ones that's lying. Do y'all have some paperwork? Other than that, y'all they lying. That ain't simping. Because I got to stay focused. Why is it simping? Because I ain't sitting up there yelling at her. No, I'm not doing that. She blessed my live chat one time. Gave me a shout out and everything. For sure. It's just a little bit of jealousy. You know what I'm saying? Because she's sitting up there putting big numbers in. You know what I'm saying? She made so much money, she can go sit up there and go overseas and chill for a whole year, yo. Just chill out. You said Dennis Byron was saying that. He did. Yeah, I spoke on it. I said he shouldn't have said that. Already spoke on that. And that's who I was talking about. I said he shouldn't have said all that, yo, because he's setting her up. You gotta know. How does he know that? I wish I had saw him. I'm like, yo, how you know that? Like, let me see the paperwork real quick. Let me see. And if he won't show me no paperwork, I'm like, you lying. Come on, man, you lying. People were saying, damn, man, she getting the numbers. Well, do something to get some numbers. You know what I'm saying? Do something to get some numbers, man. It takes, you know how long it takes to crack that algorithm? You got to be on it. Like Mirage said, he said, he told us, you got to be putting content out until your life on the line. He said, just a video here and there ain't good enough. You gotta, it ain't good enough. I know, but if she said she worked for the feds, where's the paperwork? Let me see the paperwork, man. That's why they ain't fool. That's why nobody fooling with me. They be like, we ain't gonna fool with him, yo, because he want to sit up here and want some paperwork. Where the paperwork at? Where the paperwork at, man? I don't care what they saying. Where is the paperwork? Where is it? This show that she working for the DA. Because that's what Ratchet was saying. You working for the DA, you lying, this and that. Man, go sit yourself down. Go sit down somewhere. You're too petite to be sitting out here selling wolf tickets. Because if you had went up to her, they would have tossed his little ass up. They like, this ain't no threat. He come a little closer, we got him. He ain't no threat, though. Come on, man. Shout out to the OG out there, man. He was hilarious. He went and barked on somebody. The dude that he barked on, man, you see, he backed up. This dude got size to him. He said, "Yeah, what's all that talking now? You doing? What's all that talking?" I'm telling you, celebrity. Remember when you first came there? The dude with the braids was talking to you in the truck. I said, "Yo, he down with the family." I showed you the video. He really was down with the family. I told you I peep everything. He really was. Yeah, man. Like, man. Yeah, man. You said she was protected by the feds. No other person. Hold up. No other person was protected. Make sure you can pay for that. It's in your face. Yeah, y'all keep saying, "Oh, she's beautiful." What am I supposed to say? She ugly? I'm not a part of the gay agency. Yeah, I'm gonna say it. I'm not part of the gay agency. I like women. All I was hanging around with was with women. That's all I was hanging with. That's all I was hanging with, brother. I'm not with the gay agency. Okay, I'm not. And shout out to the gay agency, man. I'm not mad at them either. But you see what I'm saying? I'm not a part of all that. Okay, I'm not sitting up there yelling at her. Oh, you could say is she beautiful. Well, what am I supposed to say? I don't know her like that. She's a sister at the end of the day. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not sitting up there trying to. I'm sitting out here on the bench. If someone walk by, hello, how you doing? I'm gonna be greeting them. I'm a gentleman. I still hold the doors for people. That's right. I'm not with the gay agency. So that's just what it is, man. But shout out to the gay agency, man. Shout out to the gay agency. You know what I'm saying? In my Ticket TV voice, you know what I'm saying? And Ticket off the hook, yo. Ticket like, man, it wasn't no victory. He didn't get no victory, you see what I'm saying? He about to get sent. He said, he said, yo, Judge Submarinian, he don't like Puff, yo. He gonna stack it. He said he gonna stack the charges. I was like, oh, if he stacked the charges, oh Lord, I need some milk. If he starts stacking them charges, meaning consecutive, I don't know what to tell y'all. Yeah, I'm not down with the gay agency, man. It's a real thing. He said he gonna stack. If he stack it, I'm gonna need some milk, Scorpio. Because I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there right in the probably the overflow room again. And if they sit up there and stack them charges, you guys, you know I'm gonna be right out in front of that federal courthouse. God, they don't stack it on them, man. Lord have mercy. In my Umar voice, Lord have mercy. I know it's not a good thing when people are getting on public case talking about their life on the line. Big homie said that. He said he got fear for his life. Now, I can't say he lying because I don't know him like that. I don't know what he's privy to. So if he feel that way, then shit. I'm not a part of that lifestyle, you know, so I have to like, okay, damn. Then Cassie said it. I don't know what they privy to. Yeah, he did have one on. I already told you the significance of it. Yeah, he did have one on. But yeah, man, it was going down. Yeah, he was serious when he said on Piers Morgan, so it might be something to it. I don't know, but it don't look good when people are saying that. And that judge could stack it. He said, "Oh yeah, this is going to run consecutive to count three." That's the key word to hear: concurrent or consecutive. You remember when they gave OJ all that time for stealing his own stuff back? Ooh, they served OJ. They served him. You said, Max, if you were there when Tisa was being attacked, why didn't you? Why didn't you? Or hold up, why didn't you at? Why hold up? Why didn't you? Or would you have stepped that roach-looking guy? Well, I don't understand what you're saying. See, Wisconsin. Write it again. You said none of the men stood up for Tisa. That's that's concerning. Well, I edited the video. You didn't hear what I was saying to him. Now, if anybody watched my live chat when I went over to him, I was saying something. See, Wisconsin wasn't there, so don't speak on something that you don't know about. I actually did say something to him. I was sitting there clowning him. I said, "You too clean to be sitting up here something about selling wolf tickets." I did say that. So don't. Why are you coming up here saying I didn't do anything? What am I supposed to do? Sit up there and beat his ass and get arrested? He didn't touch her. It's not against the law to yell at people. No, don't. Okay. That wasn't right. How you questioned me on that. Now, was I supposed to sit up there and beat his raggedy ass and then go to jail and sit up there with Puff? Because that's on federal property. I would have been sitting up there with him for beating somebody's ass that I didn't even know. But it's not against the law to yell at somebody. That's why what's her name didn't get arrested. MTA. The police said that it's not against the law to yell. Now I did say if he had did something, well, she got bodyguards there. I didn't need to do anything. She got bodyguards there, so don't spread that saying that how come guys ain't sitting there helping her. She had bodyguards. You're not there, so ask me what's really going on because I'm boots on the ground. She had bodyguards there. Okay, she had body. But when you say guys are supporting it, I didn't support it. I'm sitting there talking reckless to him right in front of him. He didn't do nothing to me. What was he gonna do? But he probably would have turned the camera on me and started yelling. I would have snapped the camera out of his hand or something. See, at that point, I would have had to walk away because I have a temper. I have a temper. I have a bad temper. I wouldn't would see if I smacked the phone out of his hand. That's an assault charge. So I would have had to walk away. I'm on federal property. But yes, I do have a temper, and I wouldn't have tolerated him yelling at me like that. I wouldn't have tolerated. I would have gotten in his face yelling back at him. There was a guy that was yelling in my face, and I'm standing face to face with him as he yelling. And he changed his vibrate because I'm looking dead in his eyes while he yelling. You can't show fear to these people. You don't got to be a tough guy, but you can't show fear. I know how to handle myself out here. And I do not support what he was yelling at her. I don't support it. So you just came up in the chat on some late stuff. You didn't know what I was talking about. I didn't sit here and mouth Tisa the whole time. I said Tisa the whole time. I didn't badmouth her, and I don't support somebody yelling at her like that. I'm not hating on Tisa. I'm not. Where are y'all coming from, man? Y'all showing up late, man. Y'all better go rewind it. Y'all better rewind. Y'all better rewind. Yeah, you coming in all late to the party when we almost done. We just sitting there kicking it now. The show is over. I shook her hand and we shared pleasantries. Now, if she didn't have bodyguards around and he's sitting there yelling at her, yes, I would have been right next to her. And he wouldn't have tried. If he would have tried, then I would have had every right to beat his ass and then say I was just protecting her, so I won't go to jail. But somebody with skinny legs like that, all you gotta do is step on an angle on his ankles and break his ankles. That's all you gotta do. You don't even gotta touch him. You just let's see why he's sitting there selling wolf tickets. My size 14 going up to his ankles, and that's it. He down for the count. And then the police would have came. I said, listen, he attacked her, and I'm like literally protecting her, so I won't go to jail. Okay. So, but she had bodyguards around. There's nothing we could have done. She had bodyguards, and she had the right protection too. So yeah, no, I don't support somebody treating her that way. That's it. That's a sister at the end of the day. I said that early in the video. She's a sister at the end of the day. I want her. I just said I want her to get all the money because that inspires me. Yeah, you got the wrong one. No, don't put me in the agency, bro. I'm not in the agency. I'm not in the agency. Do I look like I'm in the agency? I'm out there looking crazy as fuck. I'm not in the agency. When I say crazy, I'm not having no name brand shit on and all fancy-fied and all that. I just had a black t-shirt on, man, and some 501s and my kicks. That's it. I'm old school with it. I still open the door for women. I protect my homegirls that I met there. I said, yo, y'all driving with me, yo. You ain't got to take the train in. Fuck that. You with me, yo. You ain't got to take the train in. It's hot out here. Sit in the car, yeah, and put the AC on. I'm a gentleman. They can vouch for me. I wasn't on no creepy shit either. They can tell you. They can vouch for me on that. Liz and Rachel from the West Coast, they can vouch for me too because I met them. They can vouch for me too. No, I'm not in the agency, man. I don't dislike women. I'm old school though. I'm old school. I dress old school. I'm not trying to wear all the name brand and tight jeans and all that type of stuff and putting like that and having scarves around my neck. I don't dress like that. I'm just straight old school with it. That's it. I'm not a tough guy. I am a gentleman. Yes, he can get his. You can go report him now. See, Wisconsin. You can go report him now. All you got to do is timestamp it and say that he was bullying. Yeah, you can do that, and he'll be in trouble. You sure can. You sure can. But he the type of person that'll trick you out of your freedom because. But if she didn't have no bodyguards around, I've been right there with her. As soon as he would have gotten her face, I would have had every right to get him out of her face and have her get the police there until the police come. Yep. And the guy that was chasing, I was nearby. So I wasn't going to let nothing happen to her. I was watching. I was watching. That's not toxic masculinity. That's a hey girl. Hey girl. Hey sunshine. And some of them people, they think women are fish, honey. They think you're fish. Okay? He's one of them type, probably. I'm just being honest with you. Ain't nothing new under the sun. He don't like fish, honey. Oh no. Oh no, honey. He don't like fish. He's one of them type. I'm not talking about the not. I'm talking, he wasn't there. He's actually funny. He's funny as fuck. He said he here to turn it up. He here to turn it up. You said she is sunshine and a real woman that stands up. He said she's sunshine. You said Howard Cooper always hide your comments. You got to take that up with Howard. Oh, you already taking it up with him. Hold on. Did you add him? Yeah, add him and see what he say. Oh, he having an issue with YouTube. He's working out. You talking about Denot? Yeah, it was something. He having an issue with his channel, and they held his check. They held his check. Yeah, there's a bunch of demons around, but you got to protect your peace. You just got to stay out of the way. And I found that you have to be careful what you say because people are listening to you and they'll attack you. That happened a lot. Celebrity can say that. Me and her having a conversation, people just staring at us, trying to see what we say. And then it's also, he had people there too. I told Celebrity, it was a dude she was talking to and had braids. I said, yo, that's part of the family. He's with the family. She said, no, really? I said, yeah. He was trying to see what people are talking about. But, harassing and bullying, they hard on that. You said it's like you like a echo chamber man debate. You got to add Howard. I think you're talking to Howard. Howard is not responding at this point. It's okay to keep the one-sided talking point. It ain't one-sided. I just don't want nothing to happen to her. It ain't one-sided. It wasn't nothing gonna happen to her if I was there. She ain't had bodyguard. Wasn't nothing gonna happen to her. Something would have happened to me. Okay, then she could have just ran and got help. So man, he got help. Max needs some milk. Max on his back. He's on his back. I'm like, damn it, girl. I'm knocked out on my damn back. And it's hot out there. Guys, it was hot too. So all that yelling and it's hot. See, Rachel can vouch for him. She met me. Rachel know I ain't no creep. I'm a gentleman. That's my West Coast homie. That's the West Coast right there. But I would have probably got could have got jumped or whatever I could have got. But she would have ran and got the police. And I would probably been lumped up and everything. I'd have been mad too because it's too hot for that. It's too hot to be out here getting lumped up. I would have been mad. But it wouldn't. What can I do? It's like you got the T people out there too. They in the T sector, so they know her from that. So a lot of them been knew her back then. I didn't know any of them back then. Hey, is it going? Oh, she gave it to him. YouTube. She was talking. Right. She was like, "Man, get out of here, man." She said, "He's what did she call him? He's part of the like I forget what she called it. She was talking back to him. She said he ain't doing nothing. They mad that she's shining. They mad that she's shining. And what I want to say is you just work until you, let's see, the people decide whether you shine or not. Okay? You think YouTubers, okay, look, here's how it works. The listener decide if you shine or not. They do. They decide that, whether you shine or not. If they support, they watch, boom, they shine. You shine. Yeah, see, this is better than TV. You actually have control. Like, nah, I'm not watching him. I'm not watching her. I go watch somebody else. So you actually, we're nothing without the viewers, period. Point blank, period. I'm just telling you, even with the haters, we ain't nothing. I'm just telling you, point blank, period. Everybody want clicks, but you got to work for your clicks. You got to work for it. You got to give them something. You got to be yourself. That's all you got to do. You got to be yourself. You got to be yourself. I'm not going to join the crowd. They hate on her. I don't know them people like that. Now, see, she's big like that. She can't read every comment. So if you donate, then she read it. What's up, Bullets? I'm surprised I didn't see you at the courtroom. I surprised I didn't see you there, Bullets. I was looking for you. I didn't see you there. Were you there? Maybe you were there at some point. You probably was there at some point. I just didn't run into you. Yeah, Bullets. Surprised I didn't. I'm surprised I didn't see a lot of people, but it was so crowded. Maybe I just missed some people. Um, but some people really had other stuff going on. They weren't trying to be going to the courtroom every day. You know what I mean? People got hustles to do and stuff like that. Yeah, his approach was bad. Some people just didn't. I did see Sarnetta there one day. Yeah, you came. I think you may have. But yeah, a lot of people got stuff to do. You know, like I understand. Some people like, yeah, we can just vlog on it from what we hear. I don't have. You didn't have to really be there. You really didn't. Well, you can make it out there, I guess, for the sentencing, right? So we got to find out when the sentencing going to happen. That we'll find out Tuesday. But they're going to have a teleconference Tuesday to find out when they're going to sentence him. You might want to be there for that one because that it's going to be a lot of people out there for that again, and then that'll be it. But a lot of people from New York didn't show up. It was like, nah, we'll just listen to it like this. I get it. Shout out Bullets Gotti. Yeah, but a lot of people was like, nah, Max, I'm kind of just laying back. Like I'll vlog on it like this. But it was crazy out there. Of course it was gonna be crazy out at the end. It was gonna be crazy. But it wasn't crazy like you thought it was gonna be crazy. I can't explain it. Like there was no fights. It was a little yelling and stuff, but it was just people they trying to get their viral moment. That's what they were trying to do. And I know because I talked to some of the people. They said, "Yo, watch what I do." The dude that was doing the yelling, he said, "Watch what I do, Max. Watch this." I said, "What you about to do?" He said, "Get your cameras rolling. Watch this." And he walked off, and I was off to the side, and he just started barking on somebody. The dude kind of clammed up. He did. He clammed up. He said, "Yeah, what was that you talking again?" He said, "What was that?" It was an old school dude. He's from Harlem. Old school dude. He was like, yo, what you was saying?" He said, "What you said? Watch this. Yo, Max, watch this." He tapped me, "Watch this." He said, "Yo, what were you saying?" And the dude just kept walking. He didn't want no parts of it. Tisa need to use her power to take his channel. She not on it like that. She not trying to like take nobody channel. She cool. Regardless of how you like her or not, she really was showing love to people. Like if you went up to her, she just don't like you recording her without her permission, right? But if you say, hey, Tisa, real quick, she'll come over to you. Like, what's up, Max? I say, I'm Max or whatever. She said, what's up? I like, what you thinking right now? And she told me, she said, what's your name? Boom. And she walked off. If people were like, if people were just like, she'll like give you a drop or something like that. But mainly, she was just out there to do her thing and she leave. So she didn't really. She stayed out there long yesterday because we were waiting for the verdict. So obviously she was hanging around. But usually she don't hang around. Armand don't either. They don't really hang around like that. So, what's up, cutie? It was a guy, Bullets, they speaking on this guy called Ratchet TV. He went up to her and started yelling at her. She was barking back at him though. And the way she was talking to him, she was sunning him. You had to be there to see it. She was sunning him, actually. She said, you ain't talking about nothing. She said, you want to pipe Diddy off. You want to pipe his balls and all. She was really getting at him. No, the reason why Diddy didn't get the bail is because of the actually, here's the thing. He celebrated, thank you, celebrity, for the blessing. No, the sentence is not in October. They're gonna make it so that it's before October. They're gonna meet Tuesday about it. And the prosecutors are okay with it. It's like, okay, if you want to have it sooner, that's fine. But we gotta talk about it. So he gonna get the sentencing. And I'm gonna tell you something about Puff. He was very active in his case. He's a smart guy. He knew exactly what was going on. He actually wasn't celebrating. He just said he was celebrating the verdict, but he knew that he still had more work to do. He wasn't celebrating because he wasn't sure if he was getting out or not. He wasn't sure about it. That's what they were working on. They were trying to work on to try to get him out, but he wasn't like celebrating how they say he was. He was very serious. At the table, he was writing notes. He got on the computer. They had him get on the computer and work something out on the computer. Then he handed the laptop back. He was writing notes. They were conferring with each other. They were really willing and dealing at the table. Now, here's the thing about the time served. Now, it's not out of the realm of possibility that he can get time served. But they doing some willing and dealing. His lawyers are willing and dealing in the background. The prosecutors are talking. They're trying to work something out. And the judge is willing to listen to both sides. So we'll see what happens on sentencing. But he could give him the max though. But he wasn't wilding how you thought he was. He was serious. He's business. He's helping his case. He's very active in his case. Yeah, he's very active in his case. He was doing everything they told him to do. Max, no golden showers and baby oil. Hey, that's his thing, man. Everybody got their thing. What's up, Corey? Yeah, Bullet Scotty came in real quick. He said he might make it down there for sentencing. He said, but most people they had things to do, man. They weren't trying to come down that hot ass court out there, and it's hot too. And when people weren't really trying to do that, there was a lot of vloggers from New York City didn't show up. A lot of them didn't show up. They did it from a distance. Like Sonetta came down there one day, and he wasn't trying to go in the courtroom because he had all his camera. You would have thought he was the news. He had so much camera equipment. He wasn't getting in there. They would have had to. They would have had to hold all his camera equipment. He wasn't doing that. Yeah, I hope. Yeah, we'll see what kind of. But the thing is, he's saying that he's a threat to the community, man. He's saying that like dangerous community flight risk, like that. But we'll see. They willing and dealing though. Puff and them, they trying to figure it out. Yeah, they definitely trying to figure out what they can do. But he's very active in this case. They had questions for him. He wrote it down. He doing what he had to do, and he's in control. He's not. You know, the worst part is over. We just got to figure out that sentencing part though. So he's still not out of the woods yet. His publicist said the same thing. His crisis publicist, and we're not out of the woods yet because we don't know if he's gonna let him out. So they already had that in mind already. No, he didn't get too close. Her bodyguards was right there, and she had a certain type of bodyguards that you were not messing with them. Yeah, he fighting. You know what I'm saying? He hung in there the whole trial. He didn't give up no information, nothing. He kept his mouth shut the whole time. It was just his fight to fight. That's all it was. It was just his fight to fight. He decided to take it to trial, and the jury helped him out a little bit. They did, because they could have gave him the sex trafficking. That would have been a minimum of 15 years. They didn't. He got down on his knees and prayed too. He damn sure did. Thank you. Thank you. Shots. He fought to the end, man. He did. He did, man. Some of the jury was crying, y'all. They were crying. Yeah, that's what it came down to. They didn't believe it. They didn't believe the racket. They didn't believe the racketeering. But when they came in, I heard when they came in, he was in full prayer. When they came in, I know they were watching him. I think that kind of made him start crying the way he was acting. He was in full prayer. He was in full prayer. When it said not guilty, he dropped down. As soon as the last the charge, he dropped down. That's when he started crying. Yeah, you don't leave your common sense outside the deliberation room. You don't. They got it together. It was a very diverse jury. Very diverse jury. But yeah, guys, he really, really, really showed emotion. Because yesterday, the day before, when they said that they have a partial verdict, they said he was wiping his eyes. And then he looked back at his mother. He said, "Is everything gonna be all right? And you look nice. Everything gonna be all right." She was worried about him. Oh my God! You said Lou Brawl. That's hilarious. That's what the TMZ guy said. Because he said something to me. He said, what's the note that was passed?" I said, "Oh, Cassie sent the note through her lawyer." He said, "Wait a minute. James Earl Jones is dead. You need to take him over." He said, "No, I'm serious." He said, "What's your name?" I told him. They started laughing. He said, "No, I'm not laughing. I'm serious." Yeah, he in good spirits, though. He is. But he understood that it wasn't over yet. Puff knew that because when he came in the courtroom, you saw the look on his face. He was ready for business. So he sat down. He started talking to his lawyers. They had something for him to do. So he got on the laptop. They had something for him to approve or something like that. He gave the laptop back. He talked to Tenny Garagos. She was whispering something to him. He's shaking his head. Then he got the paper, started writing something